All right, everybody, this is Hollywood from Utopia Construction LLC. And I just thought I'd run through here today and show you some of the basic tools and things that you need on a job site that's reasonably priced, that really comes in handy to have if you plan on doing some projects at your house, or if you're just a homeowner who wants some of the better things in life to fix things around your house. You know, you're a do-it-yourselfer. Anyways, here's what we got. Over here is a hole saw kit. This is a Cobalt. As you'll see, I'm not prejudiced about any tool suppliers. I get what I get, and most of this stuff here that you're about to see is pretty old because I've had it for a long time. But you're going to want a nice crescent wrench or adjustable wrench, and that's a snap-on. That's a nice one. I don't know if you can see it, but if it tells you, you know, how wide your opening is there. Then you're going to want a nice torch tip, obviously a hammer, speed square is nice to have, a pair of wire cutters. That there is an electrical tester. You plug this unit into a plug, then you take this unit and you go down to your basement and run it over your circuit breakers, and it'll tell you which one that unit right there is plugged into. Pretty nice. Nice to have. So then underneath that, you're always going to want a nice screwdriver. That's like an 11-in-1 screwdriver. It's a Klein. I like Klein screwdrivers. You're not going to get shocked by them, and they're really nice screwdrivers. Over here, I lose tape measures all the time, as I'm sure most of you guys do. So I think I was at Lowe's, and this Lufkin was 2 for 1s. And that, I haven't had a Lufkin in a long time. Again, I don't discriminate on tools. I go to the store, I pick out what I like, I check it out, other ones, and I compare them to see which one I really like, which one has the best value for their dollar. But this one's really sweet. It's got a magnetic, or not a magnetic, it's got like a green print on it that you can really see well, very visible in dark areas. It almost wants to glow in the dark. And the nice thing about this tape is it also has it on the other side. Now this is America, so we do stuff in inches and feet and yards and miles. So this is an inch ruler. All you folks in other countries, should you see this video, hey, God bless. I like millimeters and centimeters, especially like kilograms. LOL. Anyways, you're going to want some channel locks is what I call them, but these again might be called adjustable pliers. These are by Milwaukee. They're really pretty decent. This first one right here, right out of the box, it's really hard to kind of manage, but we'll be doing some tool reviews later on as we get this thing rolling. And by the way, this is Utopia Construction's first online posted videos, so we're just kind of showing you some of the tools that we use here. These are my own personal tools. You're going to want different size putty knives. I got a stiff one here. That's a 3-inch. We got a 2-inch. We got an 1.25 inch right there, I think. And this one's a 1-inch. So stiff. These ones are flexible for spreading mud. These ones are for gouging stuff out. These don't flex. Then you're also going to want an electrical circuit tester. This right here has saved me from getting shocked so many times. I'm here to tell you, because, you know, we all know sometimes we have to work on live wires. So that right there will tell you what's live. It's also got an infrared temperature gauge button right there. So if you press that, it's got a little red dot, looks like a sniper scope dot, and it will tell you whatever the temperature is that dot is touching. Okay, we already went over that. This is a plug-in tester, so you can test your outlet circuit to make sure it's all wired properly. This here obviously is a utility knife. Then we have some different size mudding blades. These are pretty old. I've had these two right here for probably 15, 20 years. But eventually they get nicked or scratched or something, or you touch a wire box like I did with my 6-inch for this, and it put a nice little gouge in the lip of it from arcing. I didn't get hurt. You're normally not going to get hurt if a metal touches that. It's not going to catch fire. It's going to blow the fuse. You're going to want some sanding pads if you're doing any drywalling. This over here, we skipped it. This is a Ryobi door hinge router jig. It works super nice. I have nothing to say but good things about that. It clamps on, as you can see, it's got the little nut there. It's a really nice little setup for all different size doors, different size curves on your hinges. And then obviously we're going to want something good to replenish our bodies with. So we got some green tea, really tasty. And, you know, Arizona, I love you. Then we got, you know, does a body good, you got to have some whole milk. You got to get that vitamin D. Nobody wants to go out in the sun anymore these days. Then you're going to want a couple sanding blocks. You want a little pry bar. This is nice for getting nails out of wood, almost like a cat's paw. I'd like to get another cat's paw. I used to have one. It's like this, only it's got more of a paw at that end and more of a paw at this end. So that's why they call it a cat's paw. But then I like this tool right here. It's beautiful for doing corners. I don't know. I'm not a professional drywaller. I'm not going to lie. But I do a pretty decent job, as you'll see in some of my videos. I do all my work myself. I usually might have a helper or two helping me on a project, but I'm not big time. I'm not trying to be a bazillionaire. I'm just trying to be an honest guy, doing an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. So this stuff here is really nice. It's 3M. It's a contact adhesive. If you want to glue something together, that's the stuff to do it with. You're going to want a mud pan. I have this one, and I also have a Hawk, which you might see later in some videos. As I say, this is the virgin video for Utopia Construction, LLC. I'm Hollywood coming at you from the D. That's how we do it down here. Right now, it's February 21st, 2020, and it's cold in the D. I'm here to tell you, baby. All right, then you're going to want a Dremel tool. Or I'm sorry, not a Dremel tool, a Rotozip. The Rotozip is beautiful for cutting holes in drywall. You can put different kind of bits and stuff on it. It's an amazing tool if you're going to do any drywalling. A scraper. You're going to want a scraper. You're going to want to scrape down some paint sometimes, occasionally. You're going to need that. You're going to want, here's a Milwaukee magic marker, believe it or not. Very nice. That's how it writes. You're also going to want to make a list of all of the stuff that needs to be done and keep it on hand so that you don't get sidetracked, if you know what I mean. You can always come back to that list. Oh, what was I doing again? Yeah, that's it. And, you know, you're going to want to keep your receipts. And if you get a rebate, mail it in. You know, Menards loves it when they don't have to give you that rebate. This one here, I spent at Menards $200. And I get $12 back. All I got to do is put a 50-cent stamp on it. You do have to mail Menards in. But this is their form. You just fill it out. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to as soon as I'm done with this video. And of course, occasionally, you need something when you have a bad day. That's one of my favorites. You'll see some more as time goes on. But never drink while you work. That one right there was last night at 11 o'clock when I got finished for the day. And you don't need more than one or two. No necessary need to drink cases of beer. I'm totally against alcohol abuse, and there's nothing wrong with having a nice ice cold Labatt's Blue Light at the end of a day. Then of course, you got to have some water. along with that tea and milk. Got to keep yourself nourished, or hydrated, I'm sorry. And you want some shims. These right here, I'm going to throw a little fiesta out to La Fiesta. Handmade tortilla chips. These are amazing. I'm serious, guys. These are the best chips. You can eat them without the salsa dip. They're so good. These are actually made right here in Michigan. And the best dipping sauce on the planet has got to be, if you're going to buy it, that is, if you make your own homemade stuff like I do sometimes, you know, there's nothing that can beat that. But as far as salsas out there on the market, I'm definitely saying this is some badass bleep. So if you like salsa, hey, give Tostitos restaurant style salsa a try. I want to see if they got a hot. This is a medium. It's not too hot. It's not too not hot. Pretty good stuff. Anyways, try those out. Coming from Hollywood in the D, that's some of the best stuff right there. All right. We use some DAP. This is some all-purpose acrylic latex caulk. I use this indoors for when you're putting up molding. This is the best caulk. It dries really quick. So if you're going to smooth it out with your finger, make sure you do it before it starts getting a little skin on top of it. Then we're going to have, we're actually replacing this countertop right here. And I'm building a custom front for the front of this to cover up all that nasty. Down there, we need, definitely you're going to want a nice circular saw. That's one of the best ones I've seen. It's, we'll talk more about that at another time. You're going to want some Easy Sand 45. That stuff's nice. It's easy to mix. It hardens real quick. And it's pretty easy to sand. Back over to here. Caulk, you're going to want a paint mixer. This will also mix drywall mud in little batches. You're going to want a drywall knife. You're going to want a nice caulk gun. This is one of the best caulk guns I've ever had. This is a big box store caulk gun. The only thing I don't like about it, and some of the cheap $2 ones have it, is underneath here, they got a little pin that sticks off that you can swivel out to puncture the tip on that. That's the worst thing, is when you put a tube of caulk into a caulk gun and you cut the top off and you got nothing to poke that little inside. There's a little film in there. If you don't break that, you're not going to get any caulk out. I mean, you can squeeze the crap out of that trigger and you might pop it, but when it pops, I wouldn't want to be on the business end. So, nice, you want them to have a nice caulk gun. Of course, you're going to want a little, of course, you're going to want a little torpedo level. Again, you can see that's a Milwaukee. I really like this. It's got magnets on one end. It's pretty sweet. You're going to want some assorted drill bits and stuff. Drills. You know, you're always going to need to either drill something or screw something into a wall. Get one with a lot of different things. Try not to lose them. Look, you can see right there. My son used this one. I'm going to put it on them a lot. But I'm sure a helper or somebody else, I never, hardly ever lose tools. Except tape measures. Okay, you're going to want a nice hacksaw. That's a pretty sweet one. I don't know who the name brand is on it. Nicholson. I bought this many years ago at Home Depot. You can see it's got a front grip on it right there. You're going to want to get a sweet multi-purpose tool. Yeah, so it can do all of that. I just bought that one because guess what? I put mine on top of my car to get something out of my truck, to get something out of there. There was buried underneath a bunch of tools, and I set that little Dremel tool on top. It was nighttime, and I forgot about it when I put everything else back in, and that fell off the top of my truck. So even the pros do it. I've been doing this for 35 years almost, and I love it. If you do something you love, it's not a job. You're going to want a nice drill, driver, something to spin screws. You don't want to do it with a screwdriver all the time, especially if you got a lot to do like drywall or, you know, they just put them in there. You're going to want to, well, this is something not every homeowner needs, but I got to say, DeWalt, that's a badass nail gun. I love that thing. It's a 15 gauge, so it shoots a pretty big sized nail. We got an 1.5 and a 2-inch, and that baby will drive them. Now, when you're in an old house, like these old ones that I work on sometimes, you're running into some old world wood in here. I mean, some of these houses that were built in, you know, the 20s, the early 1900s, the wood in those houses were from, you know, 100-year-old trees. So these old houses got, you know, 200-year-old wood in them. And sometimes that gets pretty hard, almost like petrified. You're going to want a nice little tool belt too. Da-da-da. You know, just some miscellaneous tools. You never know when you're going to need it. I don't obviously carry all these tools in my tool belt. When I get to the job, I unload it, I put what I need in it, and then I go about my business. At the end of the day, I come back, I put all my tools back in these pouches. It only takes a couple minutes. So, you're going to want a nice set of lights. These right here are probably 20 years old, man. I think I bought these from Builders Square, if you can believe that. A long time ago. These are old. You're going to want some sawhorses. These ones actually aren't mine. These were in the basement, so I needed them. I'm actually working about an hour and a half away from my home in Lansing right now. Doing some work out here. It's a countertop that's going to go in. Fun carrying that by myself, 12-foot countertop, but I got it in here, no damage. You'll see what I look like, I guess, in upcoming videos, but I don't want to scare anybody. These are all the fans I just took out of this house. Replaced them with some new ones. Changed fans to lights. This is actually the house I'm working on right now. Just a little house in Lansing. We're going to hook all of this up. You'll be able to see some afters when I get done. But that countertop's coming out. That hole under the sink's getting repaired. I'm actually going to make some doors to match the ones next to them. Because this is some 80-year-old cabinets here. And I'm not going to find a door like that, so I'm just going to custom make one. You'll see it when I'm done. And I guess that's it for this video. That's an 18-minute video. We're going to change that all up underneath there. To keep in the sink, sometimes you work for people, like right now I'm working for a guy that flips houses. He's a super cool guy. He's a vet. Thank you for your service. I'm a veteran, by the way. Army Rangers. Hoo-hoo! And this is Hollywood for the very first episode of Utopia Construction, LLC. I don't know. I'm going to have to come up with a cool name for it. But if any of you sponsors out there, you want me to test your stuff, hey, you can't buy me. You send me your stuff, I'll review it on my channel, and I'll give you an honest review of it. If I don't like it, I'm going to say I don't like it. That doesn't mean I don't like all of your products, because there's some Milwaukee stuff that I don't like. There's some DeWalt stuff that I don't like, especially their cordless framing nailer. That thing, for these old houses, you go try to use that to nail into a 2x8 or 2x10 floor joist down in the basement that's 200 years old. And yeah, that thing bounces off of it. Not that one. That thing works amazing. But that's probably one of my favorite DeWalt products right there. But I'd like to do some reviews on stuff too, so anybody out there that wants to send me their stuff to review online, I can believe that Hollywood and the D is going to be having a pretty big audience. I'd love that anyways. Not to get paid or anything, but at Utopia Construction, quality is remembered long after price is forgotten. And I'm not the best home improvement guy out there, but I consider myself one of the top on the job because I do it right. I don't sidestep. I don't do no corner cutting. Like up here, I mean, this is what was somebody else did and left this for me to do. That's just horrible. I'm not really too, I mean, it is what it is. That's why people get these old houses for cheap. They think that they can spend a little bit of money and fix it all up, and then make a bunch of money, but they forget to pay the carpenter and the guy that does all the work. Because most guys, I'm not going to say most guys, but there's a lot of guys out there that'll show up, work for an hour or two, take off, come back a week later. Like the guy that was doing the bathroom when I got here. He said Monday, or no, I got here Tuesday. He said Tuesday night when he left, he had to leave at 3 o'clock for some reason to go pick somebody up or whatever. And he said he'd be back at 9 o'clock the next morning. It's Friday now, and I've yet to see him. And he left all of his tools here, so... don't hire that guy that's a crackhead up the street, or, I'm just saying, be careful who you hire. Guys do some crappy work. Not everybody. There's a lot of quality, badass carpenters and home improvement gurus out there that I take my hat off to. But we all know there's a lot of shady characters. So, once again, this is Hollywood at Utopia Construction LLC. And these are some of my basic tools that I use on a daily basis. Not so much that, because I don't really do a whole lot of drywalling, but that's really nice to have when you need it. But some of the stuff, I'm doing some promotional stuff here. I'm not getting paid for none of this, but hey, those are some good ass chips. Have a great day. God bless.